I also offer, if they want a more physical approach, I do hair mineral analysis, which lets us know if there is heavy metals in the body, the state of the minerals in the bones, their adrenal glands, how they're managing chronic stress. We could see that as well. We could see gut absorption. We could see the ratios of different minerals to see if there's also some challenges in the thyroid as well. So that's one test I do. The other one is the IgG food intolerance test. We test for 212 foods in all the different food groups.
How do you do that?
We do a lancet I use to take approximately 7 drops of blood in a little vial.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Okay.
And then I send it, I work with a chemist in Ontario. And what we see is not only if you're intolerant or not intolerant to a certain food, but exactly where it is on a number chart. You get a number value to see if it's a high intolerance, medium, or a low. And then when we get the results back, people come back in 2 weeks. We look over all the results. In the meantime, before that, I speak with the chemist. So it's not only my eyes, but it's his set of eyes as well. We go through everything, the symptomology, and the test results, and we look it over together. Then I invite the client to come back, and we go through everything, and from there we set up a program nutritionally. If they need supplements, tell them what's missing. I try to find as much of what is missing through foods. I'm not a pill pusher. Supplementation is secondary to what I do. I try to teach people the foods that have the highest amount of nutrients that they need, and not only that, but how can they digest and absorb all the nutrients better from the foods that they're eating. Most people in our culture are not nutrient deprived. They're just not able to assimilate all the nutrients that they need, and that a lot of times is connected to all their emotional stressors. And also, too much stress hormones can create havoc in the gut and create an imbalance of good to bad bacteria as well. So we need to always, work with the environment to make it the highest vibration possible.
I have actually a couple of questions, so I'll try to keep it brief. But one of them is, it's sort of aligned with what we were just talking about, where you were talking about the tools that you have under your belt, and naturopathy is something that is really a big umbrella, and you can choose to specialize or to focus on different approaches like herbalism, or in your case, doing the intolerance, working with on intolerances and gut health and all of that. There's the what and there's the how. So I'm curious, how did you come to decide what tools you wanted to use?
Great question. How I really got started, my motivation to just go into naturopathy was my late mother, Sally, who she was an incredible mother, and we were best friends. And when I was 25 years old, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And she went through surgery, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and 2.5 years later, she passed away at 67 pounds.
Wow.
And that really shook my world on many levels, losing my best friend, but also a lot of it didn't feel right to me. There was something missing, and I kept walking around with that, going, what was missing? It seemed that every treatment she had, she got sicker and sicker, and sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker till she died. And I thought, wait a minute, and I'm not against Western medicine. I have a son who has taught me a lot. He had an autoimmune disease for 11 years. I'm about, let's use the best of everything, whatever works. I think Western medicine is good for short-term intervention. I think chronically we need to look beyond that. So I went in search of this missing piece, and when my son was 1 year old, he's now 26, I remember sitting at the kitchen table with my husband, and I was crying, and he said, why are you crying? And I said, I love being a mother. It's what I always wanted to do. But I'm here for more, and I don't know what it is. It was nagging at me. So my husband said, well, just, see what the universe kind of brings to you. And I said, okay. And a week later, my girlfriend called me, And she invited me to an evening session at a naturopathic school, and I went. And I came home and I said thank you to my husband. I said, great, I listened to you. You know, Marion came knocking at my door. I went, and just to let you know, I'll be in school for the next 3 years. So I had found the missing piece. They were talking about how to nourish the cells, how to nourish our emotional state, our spiritual state. And it all made sense to me. And I realized, yes, we need to use all of it. And so that's the path that I took. And what really inspired me was that I saw in my mother, there were parts of her that she had learned from my grandmother and great-grandmother and aunt that were passed down to her, ancestral beliefs that she suppressed herself. As a woman, she stayed in an unhappy relationship. You know, she was told it's not the right thing to do to leave a family, and she believed in that. You know, she wanted to make her mother happy, etc., and I honor her for that. And all the women who came before us, right? So, and they all did the best they could with the tools they had, and that I'm clear. And so, what inspired me was, can I just, in whatever little way, help women to get in touch with their gifts, with their passions, why they're here, and help them shine those in the world. Because when a woman does that, I see her vital and strong and healthy. And so that's my driving force. And I do work with men also, just to let you know. But usually, it's a lot of women who come, and then they drag their husbands, and then bring their kids. Not always, but sometimes. But it's usually the women who connect with me first.
Sharon, do you have ongoing courses, workshops, retreats that you could tell us about?
I sure do. So every winter I do an amazing retreat in Costa Rica. We'll be doing one this February 24th. And why I say is amazing is because, not because of the work we do, yes, it's great, but I team up with Leanne Bridges. This year we have a chef coming, and we have lovely Dahlia coming to do yoga and sound healing. Why I say that is because I've done it 4 years in a row, and I see the people when they come back. They actually shift. Shift into whatever, not what I want, but whatever they've come for. Whatever passion they're looking for, whatever purpose they want to live, more of them, more of themselves, and less of what they thought they should be. You know, they could be, all the shoulds and the coulds and all this, but like what, really get in touch with who am I and what do I want? What turns me on? What excites me? What am I passionate about? What gifts do I have to share in the world? So that's what I see on our retreats. So very fun. We do those. And then I do stress management workshops with the lovely and talented Dahlia Marone. And it's such a relaxing evening because stress, what I've discovered, I've been reading a lot of studies this year, and one of the main studies out of Harvard was that 98% of our chronic illnesses is created from our stressors or our perceived stressors, right? From too much stress hormones. So I got very interested in that this year. Okay, so the first part I talk about all the things we never were taught in school. And I think we should teach our kids about hormones when they're young, right? And what stress does to the body and how to manage stress from when they're little ones. So I talk about all that. I teach about stress hormones, what it does, how it imbalances the other hormones, how it affects our organs, our glands, our digestive system. And then Dahlia does a beautiful sound healing concert so that it actually resonates and breaks up a lot of those emotions.
So among some of the other things that you studied, I remember reading craniosacral therapy. Is this the up-ledger technique?
Yes. Yes, I studied.
Where did you study?
I studied with a gem. She's my teacher, my mentor, Andrea Axt.
Oh, never.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful soul. And I studied 6 levels of craniosacral therapy with her.
Wow.
Yes, and over many, many years. I find it very valuable because not everybody can speak. and share their emotions easily. So I may invite people to the table to come and experience some hands-on therapy. At the same time, I do chakra balancing, auric field healing, many other things. I work very, very intuitive, so I see what's needed, and it's again listening. It's really listening to the subtle movement of the cerebrospinal fluid, because if you're not present and listening, you feel almost nothing. So it's really being witness. When you can witness, not only as we're speaking here, and I witness your beautiful energy and witness who you are, but it's also when we're speaking and hold space for you. And that's what I mean also by witnessing as you're speaking. I also witness when I have my hands on people, and the body is amazing when you become its witness. Because sometimes I feel in the cerebrospinal fluid that would be ultimately like a river with great integrity, and it holds our vitality, and it's like a whoosh, whoosh,
Just
very
filled with
strong. It's
information.
filled with information and vitality and energy and chi, and it's wonderful. And then you feel almost like there's rocks or boulders in this fluid, where people have had maybe emotional or physical traumas, and so now the fluid, it's moving. Instead of going like this, it's kind of moving around, and you feel something there, and you just witness. Just be with that trauma, right? And then sometimes just the witnessing of it can just dissipate, right? And then there's more space and more flow and more fluidity. For me, it's magic. The first few times I put my hands on somebody, I just cried. Because it's they allow you into their most sacred temple. It is the deepest part of the being.
Very interesting. I love the idea of just being there, the whole witnessing thing, because I think we're changing, I don't know if you want to say matter, but energy as we do that. For example, you may have heard of the this test where there's 2 glasses of water and somebody does Reiki on one of them and not the other. And when you taste it, there's a distinct difference. So what's happened? Something's happened. Some people say, oh, nothing. Well, something happened, either by observing it or the energy, I don't know, but something happened. And this is what you're alluding to. Something is happening just by being there.
Yes.
Bringing attention to it.
Bringing attention to it, right? With a sacred heart. Yes.
A different kind of presence that we come to
Yes.
most of our activities with.
Yes. And most of our life is quick-paced, and it's fast, and it's, we tend to talk a lot in our society, even cut people off and not really listening. I'm so busy, I have an appointment at 3.
Eat fast food.
Eat fast food and eat while, I'm driving a car and I'm getting to an appointment and I wonder why I have a stomach ache and all that. And so when you create a space of I'm just here for you in the next hour, for you to, us to be, for you to be.
Yes. Fascinating.
So to bring all of this together, so I was on your website actually, and I was really impressed. I mean, there isn't anything more holistic than what you do, because, like you say, I saw that you really do address the body or the physiology of wellness, and then with your psychology background and all of your other training and work that you do, that you talked about it today as well, bringing that presence and the talking and the listening, and then now the energy works. So, and then you talked about your retreat. So where can people find out about all that you're doing and all your upcoming activities?
You can go to sharoncohen.ca, to my website, and you'll find everything you need there. And also, if you want, connect with me on Facebook, Sharon Cohen, naturopath. And I'd love to be your Facebook friend, and I'd love to share and see what you're up to. I love when people write little things and we can communicate. And so that's about it. And I just wanted to say that I think what's very important also in my evolution in doing what I do is that I'm always in the conversation. I'm always growing and learning myself from everybody. I am so grateful to all my clients over the years. They've taught me so much. My children, my husband, I'm so grateful. The friends and the people around me and people like you. You know, everybody is a teacher. Right, and I'm on this journey too. I don't have everything all together. I'm right in it. I'm doing my work. I see my people as well, you know, when I feel that I'm off. And so don't forget that. It's not like, oh, I have it all figured out and you have problems, you need to see somebody. It's a flow. It's a dance. Always. Always.
Sharon, I want to thank you so much for this interview. We gained a lot of insight into who you are.
It's always interesting,
And, well,
especially
fabulous.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For contacting me and for being willing to do these interviews with people and share with the world, you know, things that people may not know and information that might support somebody one day. So thank you.
That's what it's about. It's sharing, connecting, experiencing.
Connecting, and thank you, lovely
It's
lady.
been a pleasure.
Isn't she too much?
She's great. She's wonderful. Thank you. It's been a joy and a pleasure.
It's been fascinating.
So thank you for watching. There you have it, and we'll see you next time.